Crazy 88, back again with another podcast for you on another beautiful Saturday afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I know I did a live Friday night. It was an impromptu live. I just wanted to talk to the fellas out there, and also have my other cigar, which I had last week, the CAO Brasilia, in my humidor, in my stash, in my cigar collection. And got my coffee with me. I know some of y'all checked in, and I didn't get a chance to acknowledge all the people that's in my chat. I just wanted to say hi, how y'all doing? If everybody's all right. Everything's good. So I'm just enjoying this beautiful day. I'm about to head on out upstate for a minute, just to get out of the city for a little bit. But it was at my favorite cigar lounge yesterday, and I did not realize that the ladies, especially the older, mature ladies, even the young ones, they enjoy, a cigar every once in a while, or even often. I saw a YouTube video of a young lady that's smoking cigars, learning how to smoke a cigar, and really enjoy it. Welcome to the community. It took me 51 years to get here, 50 years to get here, but I'm here, enjoying my stick. On one of my favorite days of the week, which is a Saturday, and wanted to chat with y'all for a minute. Now, earlier last week, we saw a video about a black woman, of course, got into a parking brouhaha with 3 immigrants. And immigrants got so offended, and they started whoop her ass. Like they thought you can go ahead and get away with this shit like you would have in your home country. Okay? And this is why I'm telling all you young men and women out there. There's a guy that used to do YouTube videos. He was a subscriber of mine, and I was a subscriber of his. His name was Black Pride. And I think he's on Rumble as Black Pride 88. I just finally found him because I was looking for the guy. He was off of YouTube for a number of years. Finally got a chance to find him. If I were to run into him and meet him, I would shake his hand and say, "Thank you, man. Thank you. You said all the things that need to be said. You personify, at least you say you personify protecting black men, black folks, particularly black men, and you do look out." Because I was watching his video about, he was talking about that Daniel Penny situation where that white boy, that white guy, that white supremacist, the white supremacist, he choked out that brother. And I didn't get a chance to talk about it on my live. And everybody and their mama was saying it was self-defense. Now, I grew up in New York City. I live here. Anytime that you're on the subway, you're going to encounter crazy people, mentally unstable people. Hell, I told a story about a homeless guy threatened to blow my brains out. And I just walked away. Now, what the fuck I'm going to do? Just go ahead and choke him out just because he threatened me? I know if he put his hands on me, that's a different story, but just running around, just talking crazy on the subway? Isn't that what you white folks say? That's freedom of speech? You can say pretty much whatever you want. As long as you don't put your hands on anybody. Like I said, I see a whole lot of First Amendment auditor videos where these idiots running around shoving cameras in people's faces, and just to get a reaction. But and a lot of them do deserve to get choked out, but they don't. Very rare that they do, but it's kind of baffling because like I said, I look beyond the news because everything that's reported on the news is bullshit. 99% of it is bullshit. Trust me when I tell you this. And just like that story, Daniel Penny, was bullshit, this story was bullshit as well. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, it's common that people in New York, free parking on the street is a premium. So it's a first come, first serve. You got to get to it, well, you got to get to it. But some people like to hold the spaces, which, in a case, you really are looking for trouble if you do that. But you are looking for trouble if you try to park in a space where somebody's holding it. So both parties were looking for trouble. And they were expecting trouble because I can tell when you hold in the space, of course you're going to get into a confrontation with someone. Because in New York, I don't know about the 21st century of New York City residents, but in the 20th century, you would have got cussed out and they probably would have just parked in that space while you're standing there. That's just how it is. Customarily, we don't do that shit. But somehow in the 21st century, you're entitled to hold a parking space when nobody's around. Just when the person you're waiting for is taking their sweet time getting to that spot. Because you're going to get a confrontation. Now, where this system, this black woman, and as I can tell, the young black folks, especially the black women of today, they have no sense of reading the room. You were outnumbered, sister. You were outnumbered. And you're getting into an argument with three men. One was a transsexual, or transgender, or whatever that thing was. All right? As soon as you call them an immigrant, because they're going back to their old country ways, their ways from the old country, when you insult them, you're going to get an ass whooping. Over there, nothing's going to happen. Over here, you're going to prison. You're going to jail. You're going to catch a charge. And there was no self-defense because with the way they beat up on that woman. Now, if I was there, even though she was in the wrong and they were in the wrong, and I had every intentions on minding my damn business. It's a black person, whether it's a black woman or a black man. If I see y'all outnumbered, I'm jumping in. I'll take that ass whooping. I'm not going to run and call the police. Because now, what that says to me, especially with the immigrants running around here thinking that the illegals running around thinking that they have unfettered rights in citizenship, even though they're illegal, they haven't gone through the process of being a citizen. They think they're entitled to put hands on a black woman. Now, I don't know if she's a black American woman or a tether. I don't know. All I know is somebody's going to get their ass. Somebody's going to get an ass whooping. We're going to have to even up the odds a little bit until they get some act right. Say what you want. I mean, I know black men and black women. I know black women don't like black men anymore. They never have. We're still trying. As black men, we're still trying to mend that relationship. And until we're about 2065, when we're 200 years away from slavery. I may not be around when that happens. I may be a great old man living alone by myself on this same damn balcony, talking to y'all on another platform. It may not be YouTube. It may be another platform that may be coming up. I'll be talking to y'all as a gray-haired old man smoking a cigar. Maybe on a balcony here in New York City, or somewhere else. I don't know. Or on a beach somewhere, talking to y'all with a cigar in my mouth. Who knows? But all I know is that there were some brothers that came back to that spot, and I didn't see damn immigrant coming out to confront these brothers. See, this is why I'm talking about black women. I'm always talking about we're so unprotected. We're the least protected group of people. When you got black men running down, coming to their rescue. Even though after the fact, but they came down there. They came down there to see these men. Well, two men in a transformer. And see if they're gonna pull that same immigrant old country ways on a man. Okay? Believe me, I have my differences with black women. Okay? Particularly black American women. But in the real world, in the reality, we all we got, man. We all we got. I can date out. But still, don't, y'all are my people. I can't change that. So if you're ever in trouble, like I said, if I see a black woman in trouble or a black man in trouble, I'm gonna say, hey bro, you alright? That's all you're gonna hear from me. I'm gonna say, hey bro, you alright? And if he says, yeah, okay, I'm gonna just stand there and watch and see him walk away. If not, I'm gonna do something about it. Because that's what a man is supposed to do. That's what a man is supposed to do. They're supposed to look at, especially, and black women got to stop saying that bullshit, that black women are the least protected. You know, when Malcolm X said that at a time when black men and black women, our ancestors, probably our ancestors right now, was going through Jim Crow, white supremacy segregation. In the South, in the North, even out West. They were going through Jim Crow segregation. They were going through dealing with white supremacy, racism and white supremacy. There was a book that was written by a white woman. Now, and I got so emotional reading that book. It's called Down the Dark End of the Street, where they talked about Reese Taylor, who was a black woman that got gang raped by several white men. And she lived to be a great old man. A great old woman at 95. She died around, I think, 2016, 17 or something like that. But she had to live with that trauma. Of black women getting gang raped, getting raped. Doing sexual favors for white men that they're working for, as a domestic or in the office somewhere down in the South. This was common. And there was nothing but the black man can do about it unless he wants to get strung up and lynched. Did these women do it voluntarily? Probably. But now that I'm in my 50s and I'm a little bit more mature, I gotta question why a white woman with Danielle McGuire would write a book and she's not a psychologist or anything like that. She's a historian. I think she's a history professor somewhere down in the Northeast or somewhere. But I got to question, why would she write a book about a black woman's trauma that was inflicted on white men? By white men. I got to question, why would she do that? Because you gotta understand, secretly I think white women despise white men, especially in the United States. I think they secretly despise them. They'll get with y'all, they'll marry them, they'll have their babies, but I think they secretly despise them. And that's only from the few white women that I've spoken to. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, I gotta question it. I gotta sit down and reread that book and do some more critical thinking, because I read that book based off of emotion. Now I gotta think about it in logic. So you gotta ask yourself this question: why would a white woman write a book like that? I don't know. Portray white men as being villains and black men being docile. I don't know. Powerless. I mean, that was just only a small sample size of what went on during that period. During the Jim Crow white supremacy, racism period. But I always wondered what happened in real life. And these people are not really alive to even detail it. A, probably because they didn't have any bad experience that they can recall, or they probably went through so much trauma that they did not want to talk about it, which is understandable. Which leads me to go back to Shannon Sharpe. Now I got some opinions about this brother, man. This brother is this bumpkin, and I love Shannon Sharpe, but he's a bumpkin. He's a country Bama bumpkin, South Georgia. Grew up during the 70s, born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s, damn near 60 years old. And he's up here messing around with 22, 23-year-old white women. I mean, that's his thing. God bless. That's his color. That's his flavor. God bless him. He's making his money. I'm very proud of him making his money. Got in the Hall of Fame, got his brother into the Hall of Fame as well. That's a true brotherhood. That's the relationship that me and Brother Rich had. Okay? I'm sure if he was in the Hall of Fame, if we was playing the same sport, and I was just as good as a wide receiver, didn't get in due to some injury, and he stepped up, worked his ass off, got into the Hall of Fame, got 3 Super Bowl rings in the Hall of Fame, got his brother in. I know he lobbied, I know he politicked to get his brother in. Sterling Sharp, who was a dog when I was growing up. But Shannon Sharp, post-career, I've been hearing some things, man. I've been hearing some Bill Cosby type things about this brother. I just hope that he takes it easy on these white women. You know, cover your ass. All right? From what I heard, he was chasing this woman there. And I'm like, and I tell all you fellas out there, man, stop chasing these bitches down, man. I know you got to work hard to keep these bitches around, but the ones that gravitate towards you, the ones that are attracted to you, those are the ones you should get with. Those are the ones that you should be working hard, sending candy, flowers and candy to, buying them bags. If they like you and they do something great for you, that's how you're supposed to reward them. You ain't supposed to be chasing no bitch down. A young 22-year-old bitch. And if you do, you pay them to go away. You don't pay them to stay. And I think he didn't pay her at all. And they're gonna be like, oh, you with another woman? Oh, okay. I got you. Give me my money now. I want to get paid. And that's what happened. The bitch got paid. The bitch got her money. No criminal charges is going to happen. But remember what I told you fellas about reputation. Now Shannon Sharp has a reputation for doing weird sexual shit to young women. Just like Bill Cosby. He was America's favorite dad. That was his reputation. Until it came out that he loved drugging and having sex with women, white women. He was involved with some bullshit with women other than his wife. So now he's like persona non grata. Mike Tyson made a comeback. Now, I'm not going to talk about that brother's past because he was a wild boy when he back in the 80s and the 90s. Mike was a wild boy. And that was his reputation. Now he changed up. He got old. He's changed. He's changed his reputation. He's evolved. But he's still persona non grata. They will still bring that up. I won't bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up here. But I'll just say he was just a wild boy back then. Now I believe every report outside of the news, from stories from people told that stories that people have told about Mike Tyson. I'm not going to get into it here. You draw your own conclusions. But remember what I told you about your reputation. Now Shannon Sharp has a reputation for doing wild shit to white women, young white women. So I hope he has a good PR firm backing him. Doesn't change my opinion about him, but there's something else going on with his brother, and I can't put my finger on it. And that's why, if I was on the jury, I would believe it, because there were also stories about him. There were some things, it wasn't said, but it was alluded to, that the guy has a temper. Especially working with other people. He has a temper. When he was at CBS and as well as Fox. So I'm not going to go into it because it hasn't been proven. Nobody really mentioned it per se as of yet. So I'm not going to go into it right now. What's up, Ian, the Super Kid? Hope you're doing very well. All right. So let me go ahead and talk about Paul Pierce. Now, that's another why, but in a good way. But Paul Pierce, he's like, former NBA, power forward, small forward. Won a championship with the Boston Celtics. Now he was on ESPN, got fired from there for whatever reason. I forgot what it was about. Now he has his own podcast, Paul Pierce After Dark. I'm gonna be a subscriber. I'm gonna be a Patreon member, because he's been saying some wild shit, red pill shit, that I kind of agree with, and I kind of agree with him on this one. That I halfway agree with him on this one. That brothers should consider going overseas, getting your passports and going overseas. Now, I've never been overseas yet, but I'm getting my money together so I can make that my first trip to my dream country of Brazil, like Austin, Holland. Now, from my understanding is that dating is trash here in the United States, which it is. It's trash for young people as well as old people like myself. That's why I rather sit on my balcony, drinking coffee or tequila, or having a tequila sunrise, smoking a cigar, and enjoying the day, and enjoying my stick, and enjoying my stick, talking to y'all fellas, right? You know what I was thinking, man? Maybe when I do these live streams, maybe I should just put up a super chat or something like that. A Cash App or something. If you don't want to contribute. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. Either way, like I said, you know what? I'm going to put it out there, but I'd rather you didn't contribute, because I want you to keep your money in your pocket. There's better use for your money than sending it to some big mouth asshole that's talking shit on a YouTube video. Besides, I don't do this just to make money. I really want to talk to y'all fellas out. Because there's not really too many spaces out here for black men, and also there's not too many black men that are real, talking about them speaking the real. And I'm going to speak the real on Passport Bro Movement. Now, I'm not talking about traveling, black men travel. I would love to see a real travel channel where a black man is going. I know there was one brother back in right around 2015, 2016. I think his name was the Passport King. His name was Rockland. And he would just go to all these places, man. Not just where it's black men friendly. And I don't mean like, and he really doesn't talk about, he really didn't talk about sex tourism, about the women. I mean, the women were there, yeah, they were fine as fuck, but I'm talking about where a black man can go ahead and relax and enjoy themselves and get out of the United States for a little bit. Just enjoy yourself. Me personally, I'd rather just sit on the beach all day drinking beer and watching pretty women go by on the beach. And all y'all passport bros up there saying that everybody loves black men. No, not really. Not everybody does. Now, they may want to have sex with y'all. They may want to have sex with me if I go out, let's say if I go out to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, there's going to be some snow bunnies that are going to be interested in me and want me to dick them down. I can go over to Costa Rica and have some Tika girls out there, you know. Well, I would have to pay them though. But see, that's the thing that they don't talk about, man. When you go over there and you don't know the language, you know nothing about the culture, you don't know the language, half these motherfuckers don't know how to speak Spanish or another language or Romanian or Russian, Japanese or Chinese or Korean. They don't know how to speak all those like the Philippine. They don't know how to speak Filipino. You want to go out there and get with these women, and by observation, they are better than American women. They probably are better looking than American women. They are more feminine than American women. But the results are going to still be the same. You're going to get a bitch that you're going to have to pay for. You're paying for these bitches. Whether she got a job or not, you're paying for it. They're going to expect you to be a man. It's not going to be 50-50 when you're dealing with these women. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. It's not going to be 50-50. It's going to be 100. But the only difference is that you bring your American money over there, which is worth 10 times much more than their money. So you're rich. In their eyes, they see you as a rich motherfucker. And just like most women, they're going to expect you to buy everything. They're going to expect you to buy them shit. And you're going to end up saying, you're going to be saying to yourself, man, these bitches ain't no different from the States except I can afford this bitch. Whereas in the United States, women are making their own money, but you're still going to have to pay for the bitch. At the end of the day. And when you have game can only get you in the door. But if you're expecting to have a relationship with these women, yeah, you're going to have to come out of pocket, man. I'm sorry. You're going to have to come out of pocket. If she does things for you like cook, clean, and help you out, help you become a better man, you got to reward her. You got to come out of your pocket and reward her. You got to give back. It's karmatic. Once you reward that woman, she's going to be loyal to you. She will be by your side. Trust me when I tell you this. As soon as the money runs out, that's where the problems begin. You will have problems. And that's the thing that none of these passport girls ever want to talk about. I'm not saying it's the same. It's the same but different. You're still gonna have to come out of your pocket. Hey, listen, Patrice O'Neal, he used to go down to Brazil all the time, and he would say that he wouldn't say it outright, but he's saying, he pretty much said it on the Howard Stern show. Yeah, he didn't say it outright, but yeah, if this woman is doing things for you, why not? And if she asks for, yeah, could you buy me a TV? I don't have a TV. Then you go out and buy her a 50-inch flat screen TV. You know, I mean, she was giving you the pussy, and she was cleaning, cooking, cleaning, and caring for you. Why not? She was playing the role of a girlfriend. Why not reward her? That's not really prostitution. But it's the same here in the United States. If you find a good woman, well, let me just stop saying it. If you find a woman with a good reputation, and there are plenty of women out here that have good reputations out here. It's just dating is trash. That's all it is. Like the bitch that I dated about a month ago. She expected me to reward her, and she didn't do shit for me. We were just dating. I'm up here spending money on $16 espresso martinis, and she ain't did a damn thing for me. Now, I was with a crazy bitch for 5 years. But my mistake was I didn't reward her enough. I just wanted her to go away. That's why I was doing all sorts of fuck boy shit, to try to get her to go away. And I'm realizing you gotta pay a bitch to go away. You don't pay a bitch to stay, you pay them to go away. And you don't ever want to, and you also got to be honest, man. And I wasn't honest with you. You got to be honest with these bitches, man. And if you don't want a brick up in your windshield, in your car windshield, you don't want her burning your clothes. You gotta be very honest with this woman about your intentions. I don't care about lying about staying out all night with your partners. Staying out all night at the club. I'm not talking about that shit. That lying shit. I don't give a. Nobody gives a fuck about it because she knows you're lying and shit. She just doesn't care. But sometimes you just got to be a man about what your intentions are. And that's why I halfway agree with Paul Pierce. I think every black man should go ahead and get their passports and see what it's like outside of the United States. Because it's just going to come, you're just going to have to come to terms that it really isn't that much different. Except the woman over there is going to look at you as the man. And not every woman is going to be interested in the black man, because you also got to understand the dynamics as well. There's a family dynamic when you go overseas, which is absent here in the United States, especially it's very rare among Black American culture. You got families that won't see you as the man. They don't like you because you're black. They don't like having black grandchildren. They don't like having children that don't look like them. So you also gotta look at that dynamic if you are going overseas to find a wife, and not understanding that there's different. The families view, people over there view family dynamic much different than here in the United States. And I have to say, most of the women overseas, other than the hoes, pretty much are wife material. Just like here in the United States, there are women that are wife material. Is it a needle in a haystack? Hell yeah. Yes, it is. But if you're honest with your intentions, you'll get the desired results that you're looking for. I'm at 41 minutes in on this live, and nobody's around, which is a good thing because y'all out there having a life on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. You're not here listening to no old man going on and on. So I would say Paul Pierce got it half right on this one. Now let me go ahead and get back to Coach Greg Adams. I'm going to talk a little bit, I'm going to touch on briefly what he was talking about on his live earlier this week, man, about black men, our bottom feeders. And I have to say, yes, we are. Because all we do, it goes back to when I was about 30 years ago, when I would just look at a woman that had a big ass and big titties, being, man, I want to have sex with that bitch, even though she got a busted up face. She got a face like Mamma Jamma, the fat porn star back in the 80s. Bad Mamma Jamma. Okay. See, I was up there, and a lot of y'all brothers out there, y'all holding hands and walking down the street with these bad Mamma Jamma bitches. Okay? Y'all still do. But we see, as black men, we seem to take in everybody else's trash. We wife up women with children, women who are single mothers. We wife up women that are heavily medicated, on drugs, former drug addicts, fat white women, obese white women, crazy bitches. Okay. I mean, we see Jennifer Love Hewitt, who did a movie premiere, What Did You Do Last Summer, or something like that. Now, before he talked about, he broke it down that her dating history, because she was young, pretty, and thin, most of her roster was just white men, well-to-do white men. But she popped out 3 kids, and she got a lot of curves, but white men don't even like her. So, see, let me just tell you this about white men. They do not, I mean, if they're married to their wife, they're married to their wife. That's fine. That's their wife, that's it. But generally, when they're younger, they tend to go after younger women that are thin, petite, in shape, flat-chested, damn near flat-chested, no ass, olive oil looking bitches. They do not like voluptuous. They do not like women with curves. They do not like voluptuous women. And then she's got more play from black men. See, this is what I'm talking about. We as black men, we date women. Okay? And the reason being is that, and there's some truth to that, because every time I go to this place down in South Carolina, I go down to South Carolina, which is not too far from where I practically grew up, where my father grew up. And I walk into a bar, I see all these white women, and some of them have husbands. Some of them have. I'll tell you this story. I walked into this one place that I usually go to, right? I was sitting next to this couple. I was sitting next to his wife. This man, husband and wife. And I was sitting next to his wife. And then another couple came in. He was sitting on the end, and his wife was sitting next to me. And here I am. I'm chatting it up with it. Well, they were chatting it up with me, and they were up there touching me and grabbing me and damn near flirting with me with their husbands right next to each other, right by them side. The husband was just, one of them just watching the game, and he ain't paying her no attention. And the other one, her husband was talking to some of his friends. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I see it every time I go in there. I'm always having a conversation with a white woman, an old white woman, and it's damn near they're damn near flirting with me. I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute. Now I wrote it off as being friendly, but I had to sit down and think about this, man. Now, and I'm a semi-attractive young man, a black man in their 50s. I'm not married or anything like that. But if you're in their spaces, if you're a halfway attractive black man and you're in their spaces, you're gonna get a lot of play from these old white women. I promise you that. I had a white woman told me that because I'm dark-skinned, and it's obviously I am dark-skinned, all right? I'm not blue-black, but I am dark. I have that Gullah Geechee gene, all right? I have that Gullah Geechee gene. I am a Gullah Geechee. She said to me that I'm like the bucket list for most white women out there to have sex with. No, just old white women. Because let me just say this: because the young white women, they'll look at you, they'll be like, okay, no. Most of them will say to you, no, that's okay, Tyrone. No, Tyrone, I'm not interested. Because let me just say this: because their father's around. Their father do not like their little girls fucking with no nigga. Okay? They don't want you to bring home a black man. You bring home a black man, you are disowned. You are out of the will. Now these white women, especially these old white women who are probably widowed and single, that I got hit on, they're far away from their family. Because the place I'm talking about in South Carolina is damn near a retirement community. They go down there after working 40, 50 years on the job, and they just move down to South Carolina and just to retire. Okay? And they don't mind, and they can get dick down. I had one white woman who was talking to me, who was married for 28 years, right? As soon as she got her divorce, she dated one black man, and she would say, no, I don't want a white man. I'm going to date a black man for the rest of my life. I love black men. I like black men. I like dating black men. I want to be in a relationship with a black man. Because the men that she was dating, they were very nice to her. They may have cheated on her, but they were very nice to her. And we are black Americans. When we have a woman in our life, if we like you, we will give you the world. And that's not simping either. That's taking care of your woman. Or in my case, what I tell y'all fellas, you're supposed to reward your woman. So yes, black men we don't really get the best looking white women. We don't get the best looking women. We are the bottom feeders. So that's why these brothers go overseas and lose their damn mind. When they see attractive women, even though some of them are hoes, flirting with them. Dropping the drawers for them. And they just lose their damn mind. And I know if I go down to Brazil, I'm going to lose my damn mind too. Shit. Let me see, where are we at here? Hold on, let me see where we at. Oh man, we got an hour in. I got shit to do. But, you know, I got to get on out of here, man. I'm probably going to do some... I'll probably have something to talk to y'all fellas about next week, but I got... Yeah, let me go ahead and head out and enjoy the rest of this day, all right? Well, fellas, go on out there. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. If you do drink, get a designated driver and know when to say when. Okay? This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there, all right?